Good evening to you, my friends, and I hope you're well and feeling rather prepared today. That's what this is all about. Welcome to the SitRep for today, the situation report, where I'm going to go through a few stories, and no, I did not order them today. So it's just scattershot today, just going through it. I'm Gads, this is Ragnarok Survival, and if you haven't joined me before on this, welcome. And if you have, also welcome. Thank you. Thank you for jumping in. Hello to you, Kranich Justin. Hope you're well. Hope you're all well, wherever you are tonight. Anyway, let's jump into it. Big news today, stock market. The stock market took a bit of a freak out. Dropped. This isn't everything all across in the stock market, by the way. It's just most things. A lot of stuff, a lot of red in there. So just to give you an indication of this, the All Ordinaries, which is one of the Australian indices, dropped 181, so it's down to 7,000. Dow Jones, the big one, the US one, dropped 1,200, and was sitting at about 31,000. To put this in perspective for everyone, this is a huge drop. And I'll talk about why this dropped. I'll just talk about some other markets as well. NASDAQ down. That's all tech sector sort of stuff. S&P 500, which is the 500 biggest companies in the world, down, following NASDAQ as it usually does. The FTSE, the UK one, down. Germany's DAX down. Hang Seng down. Nikkei down. All of them. Pretty much all of it down. Interestingly, on this as well, a couple of other things moved that I'll talk about in a sec. So why has this happened? I mean, everyone sort of has their eye on the US market, and that's the one that everyone follows pretty much. So the US sneezes and everyone else gets cold and dies sometimes, as far as the stock market goes. But what's happened here, this is coming off data of inflation, basically CPI data that's coming out from the US. The way I see this is that the US government has been gaslighting everyone for a long time, and the market, it benefits them to believe the bullshit. So they've been going, no inflation, everything's good. You know what? We've brought down the prices. We're doing better than we did, 12 months ago. Blah blah blah. All this bullshit they've been saying, and it's out and out lies, and everyone's saying you're lying. Why? Why is anyone believing this? But the market goes, yep, we need to believe that right now, so we're believing it. Well, they can't anymore. They've kicked the can, that lie, down the street so far. Now everyone's looking at it and going, well, we can't actually deny that we have CPI. The big thing was that the market had kind of like factored in what they thought was going to happen, which was an increase, and they didn't see an increase. They saw, a decrease, and they saw an increase instead in inflation. So that's freaked everyone out. Like I said, the US market just went tumbling down, and that then makes other markets follow. So Australia's market, when they opened, knowing that the US market had done that, kind of went straight down. Gold and silver kind of went down, except the Australian dollar went down. So for Aussies, it's actually more expensive now than it was yesterday. Still relatively lowish kind of levels. I mean, gold's still way up there. Silver's still in an okay price. Interestingly, Bitcoin also took a tumble on this news. Ethereum took a tumble. Ethereum's kicking back up. Why that's interesting is that Bitcoin, as everyone has been saying, and should be, something that is not linked necessarily to what market's been doing, but more and more over the past year, that's what it's been doing. Market goes up, Bitcoin goes up, market goes down, Bitcoin goes down. So Bitcoin has been following the market very, very closely, which is very interesting, especially from the perspective of, people like myself who are like, hey, can we get an alternative currency going? Will this ever fly? It's appearing at this stage like, well, no, it doesn't seem like the hedge that we thought it was. I mean, it is. That's a very broad look at it, but even if you're right into Bitcoin, you can't deny that it is moving with the market at the moment. So who knows what's going on there? Hopefully that changes. Peter Rouse says this is only the beginning. Perhaps, I was talking about this with a close friend this morning, and I said, and they said, "Hey, what does this mean?" And I said, "Well, at the moment, nothing. It doesn't actually mean anything right now. What it means is that there's volatility in the market, which we've seen already. It's increased volatility, so there's more volatility than we've seen before, and that's never good. But it doesn't necessarily mean that this is the end. It could all bounce back tomorrow and go further up than we've ever seen it before." Yes, that Insta chick, that was you that I was talking to. It could bounce and go way further up than we've ever seen it before. It could precipitate, a fear cycle within the market where people start selling and selling and selling, and people freak out and just try and pull out. What's going to buoy this up, though? What we've seen recently, post March 2020. By the way, this is the biggest single day fall since, I think, June 2020. And obviously we had that COVID hit come in and people freaked out. So this is the biggest fall we've seen since then. We're still well above where we've ever been, though. And if you've ever kind of dug your head into the market and into cycles and into crash cycles as well, then there is a theory out there that 2008 was actually the crash, but the crash had to be then fixed. And so what we've got is this period of time where we've gone ridiculously high, euphoria at an all-time high, and that's reflected in the height of the market, which is still very, very high. But as the old saying goes, the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And that's what we're building up to now, the big crash. And there's not going to be anything to stop it this time. How did we get out of it the last 3 times? Currencies got printed en masse around the world. People printed currency. But that only ends in one place, inflation. That's what we're seeing at the moment. And you can only kick that can so far down the street, and eventually you can't print any more money to fix it. You can't catch inflation. The more money you print, the more inflation you're going to get. The more you raise interest rates, which are still crazy low. All right. I apologize if you're hurting because of the interest rates, but historically they are crazy low still right now. So they're stuck with this choice, this impossible choice: raise interest rates through the roof and destroy people and destroy your economy. Don't raise interest rates, even maybe lower them, print more money and destroy your economy. I can't see any other way out of it at this stage. And I'm not a financial guru at all. All right, this is a monkey here trying to tell you about things that are way beyond my grasp. But from the limited view that I have, the way I'm looking at it, I can't see a way out at this stage. I can see extensions, but I can't see fixing. So a question just came in here from advisor 20219 that says, "What do you reckon? Buy precious metals?" So I just got a message that I looked at just before I jumped on here from a friend who said his stocks in things like coal, rare earth metals, and some precious metals, his stocks are going through the roof. One of his coal stocks went up 600% today. Real, actual commodities historically have been the thing. If you're investing, this is talking about kind of stock investment, I guess. Investing in commodities has been the thing that's seen through hard times like this. So upheavals in the market where stocks go down, real commodities, real things, that's what goes up. And I just happen to have this out today, and I'm going to show off everyone. Gold, my friends, gold or silver. I had them out because I was actually looking at them to see if they had the Queen on them. Queen died. 3 of the major mints in the world print the Queen's effigy on coins, and there's been a run on gold and silver. However, the market has knocked the price back down. And like I said at the start, Australia's price is still a bit up there. But, I think these things are probably going to do a run pretty quick because it looks like people are buying them up, and they were already in kind of short supply, not really short supply, but they're already in a little bit of sort of short supply. So watch that. Gold and silver, I think, is probably gonna take a jump. Peter Rouse says buy land, and I will not disagree with that. Although even land, I was looking at some prices in my area at the moment, and yeah, it's pretty expensive. I don't know what to say. It is really expensive. It's actually painful to look at it right now. So yeah, but the thing with land is when we're investing in actual commodities that we can hold in our hands, in our hot little hands, I can hold this, right? I can exchange this. I can do things with that. I mean, I can't eat gold or anything like that, but silver does have some uses. But land has uses. Land has a lot of use. So that's why I kind of tend to steer people in that direction. Hey, maybe think about investing your hard-earned dollaroos into some land if you can, because you can actually work land. No matter how shitty it is, you can try and bring it back at least. Peter Rouse says, I picked up gold when it was around USD 700. I wish I had my head in the game at that stage. I didn't. And I look back on those times and I'm like, man, I mean, I didn't really have the resources at that time to be true. I was a penniless hippie back in those days. And now I'm not. Now I'm a working stiff. So I've actually got money to spend on these sort of things every now and then. Man, good for you. That's all I can say. Peter Rouse says, you think it's expensive there, you should see the prices here. Yeah, it's up everywhere. And who knows, we might be seeing a correction in the market soon. But my take on it is, if like I'm in a rural area and I actually don't believe there's going to be a huge shift in the market, because we're seeing in Australia still, since COVID, people still shifting out of cities and using their city money to buy up rural properties, which drives up prices for the rural folk. All right, so that's the big sort of information that I wanted to kick off with. Why is this all happening? As I said, the US current government, the administration there, is apparently in damage control. They can't hide this information anymore. So this inflation report's come out in the past 24 hours, and it's crazy, absolutely crazy. But this is the sort of stuff we're going to see. I'm surprised we didn't see things more akin to this when they started raising rates. Last time they tried to raise rates, the market had a freak out. So who knows what way they're going to go, but it's a little bit damned if you do and damned if you don't. The way I'm seeing this, if I can put my tinfoil hat on for a second, it's not even really tinfoil hat, to be honest. This is just bloody obvious, I think. What's happening at the moment is that the richer of our society have been able to see plainly what's going to happen, what's been happening for the past couple of years. And they've said, all right, can we ride this out? Can we, have a soft landing here? Can we try and fix it? No. You know what? Let's just make as much fucking money as we can until this thing hits a fucking brick wall. So let's just, instead of slowing the car down, they've just kicked it up into sixth gear and they're hitting the accelerator. Or that's what they have done. And we're rushing at that wall now. So, yeah. I mean, big shout out to all the billionaires out there who just got, a couple of $1 billion wiped off their personal value in the last 24 hours. I'm really feeling for you. Nut. Peter Rouse says rural New Zealand dollars 10 million out there. Yeah, some of the places around me, I'm looking at. I'm not looking at it, but 1.5 to 2 million bucks, and it's just like, this is not right. This is not normal. All right, I'm just going to shoot stories at you now. One of my sources from the eastern part of Europe in a chat says in their area, interest is rising in picking up potassium iodide used in nuclear fallout. this in comparison to July. So people were not so interested in July. And now what they're seeing is hundreds of thousands of people going in to get their tablets off the government or buying up tablets. So interesting stuff there, what they're thinking about in that part of the world. What else do we have? This was an interesting one sent to me from someone on Instagram, and I appreciate it very much. Sent me a little story that says Denver Ready, which is like part of their government readiness, whatever organization, gives out free bug out bags as part of National Preparedness Month. So for those who don't know, in the US, they've got a Preparedness Month, which is September, which is kind of cool. So yeah, local government here is handing out free bug out bags as part of their, getting people prepared more, which I thought was cool. I actually thought was cool. A lot of conspiracy theories floating around about it, and yep, maybe, but I don't care. People who are governments that are actually like being proactive like this and handing out bug out bags, I think it's a great idea. I always like to see stuff like that. This is an old story, but it's coming up to its due point here, and this was also sent in by the same person. Pope Francis instructs the Vatican entities to move all funds to Vatican Bank by September 30. I was actually sent this by Lauren on that Institute. I want to say maybe 3 weeks ago, and it was the report said that this actually came in early August. So this order was put out like early August, and there was rumblings about it before then as well. But it is interesting. We're watching, what these big organizations are doing. Vatican Bank is a huge organization, and what they're doing is pulling in all their worldwide resources into them right now. What's in the bag will give us an idea of what they expect coming true. True. I didn't see the contents of the bag, but if anyone knows that the contents of those Denver bug out bags, let me know. Germany's power grid faces collapses, millions stuck up on inefficient electric heaters for this winter. So they've tried the wood, they can't get wood. They've tried the wood fire heaters as well. They're sold out. They're buying those shitty little radiator heaters where it just heats up the element, which is super inefficient. That's obviously going to put a massive drain on the energy infrastructure, which is already strained within Germany. So good luck with that. Good thing they turned off those nuclear reactors, though. Advisor 2021-9 asks, I wonder if there's a gas mask in there. I wonder too. White House readies emergency decree as national railway strike looms. So I was talking about this. I've been talking about this national railway strike, which is possibly going to happen. It's not written in stone yet, but it may happen. Already the White House is looking at it and seeing the impact that it's going to have if it does happen, and they're writing up a emergency decree. This is, I know this is backwards, but this is directly out of this. Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged. Read it. You'll understand how things can go horrifically wrong with this sort of stuff. But this is, again, government going like, shit, this is not good. We're going to have to increase our emergency powers. We're going to have to step in there. What does that emergency decree actually outline? Who knows? But it could be up to and including hiring a workforce to come in and actually run the railway, actually forcing people to go to work, even though they're striking for more money, saying, nope, you cannot do that, forcing you to work. So yeah, fun times ahead, possibly. It's all up in the air. Over to Japan, political and public support rises in Japan for more nuclear plants. So they were very anti it in Japan. Obviously, the Fukushima thing put the wind up them a little bit, and they've been very anti nuclear power now since then, and they've been thinking about shutting it all down. Well, they've done a 180 on that now. They've looked at their power grid. They've said, no, we can't do it. They've done some future planning, and they've obviously said, we need nuclear. And so they're going for it, apparently. The funniest thing that was in this particular story was this quote here: Russia's invasion changed the global energy situation. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. But I like how we always got to sneak in that it's Putin's fault. No matter what's going on, Putin's fault. I don't know. Maybe it is. I give up now. Sure. Peter Rouse says, read the book, not the movie of Atlas Shrugged. I haven't actually watched the movie. Not sure if I will, because that book is it's so much, and I'm like, I don't even know how you would tackle a movie like this. There's so much internal dialogue within that book. Anyway, it's a good book, worth tackling if you want to. Turkish banks struggling amid wave of new regulations. So they've had a whole heap of regulations put on now. Some banks in Turkey are curtailing corporate lending now. This is obviously this is from Reuters reporting. This is coming out of their horrific inflation situation going on to, the economic situation in Turkey is not great. Every other day I'm getting a story out of Turkey where things are like, we're great, we have to fight a war with Greece, we're supporting this country, we're brokering deals to make sure grain's coming out, and then other stories that are coming out that are like, Turkey's about to go fucking boom economically, like boom, collapse. Not in a good way. That Instachick run on gas masks next up. Yes, perhaps. Kieran says, get spray painting 3-stage masks. Yes. I did a story on the, I think it was a story, and it might be up in my, I might have saved it as a highlight about gas masks. I can't remember, but if people want to know information about gas masks, then definitely ask around. Some of the people here know what's up. I myself have many gas masks, several from just shop bought, from like tradie sort of places, warehouse type places. And you can get a mask, you can get filters that are going to do a fairly good job. I do have a actual military grade gas mask with an NBC filter as well. But that's not really accessible for most. I mean, you can access it, you can buy it, but it's just kind of, they can be a bit expensive. Lucky I shop Army. All right, EU backs out from capping Russian oil and gas prices. I've been talking about that one a little bit, these price caps, and I'm always saying, like, personally, I don't think price capping is the way to go. I don't think it's a great idea. So it looks like they might be backing out from it, which, I think it's a good idea. It may not be. Like, maybe price capping is the way to go in the future, but to me, it just seems horrible. It seems like another government overreach to add on to the already torrent of government overreach that we're seeing at the moment. What they're going to do instead is they're going to push for windfall taxes on surplus profits from energy companies. I almost thought you were going to do the right thing here, governments, but no. Do I think companies should be making, bank right now while people are hurting and freezing? No, I don't think they should be doing that. And if they had a longer perspective, I don't think they would do that. However, I'm always I'm pretty loath to attack people's profits. Profits at the end of the day are the motivator within our society. So when we start attacking that, it erodes motivation for people to do things. And we get to points of what we're seeing at the moment where wholesale across Europe, we have factories shutting down because they're like, well, this doesn't make economic sense. Wholesale across Europe and across the world, we have farms shutting down or not growing things because it doesn't make economic sense, So that's what happens when you start to do things like this. You start to meddle in. Government can't control anything. All right, I just got the knock on the door, which means my dinner is ready. So I'm going to wrap this up. I'll just quickly touch on this one. Iran, Venezuela, increasing their ties. So this is more of that, we're seeing the two dodgeball teams form up, and Iran, Venezuela is definitely on one side of that. Two of the most heavily sanctioned countries in the world. Venezuela could not get their oil out, and their oil industry collapsed, and they have so much oil and they can't do anything about it. Iran came in and said, we're going to help you out, and they have helped them out. So Venezuela's come back and said, you know what, you're not going to get food, we've got plenty of land, grow as much as you want. And it's like one of these from Venezuela and one of these from Iran to the US at the moment. They are just giving the big FU to the US, saying sanction us all you want. And I'm not saying I'm for this or anything like that. I mean, I'm always for people growing food, but they are sanctioned for a reason. It's just another thing where I'm seeing this and I'm going like, hey, these sanctions, guys, like, can we get off them? Because I don't think they're working anymore. We're not in that world. Okay, things have changed. Things changed on the 24th of February, and we need to adapt now. But yeah, that's what's going on in the world. Hey, I started a new series on the television called Last Light, and it's about this crisis where there's something wrong with the oil, and it creates an energy crisis, and then within 24 hours, things get real bad, real quick. There's a few things that I'm watching it, and I'm like, I don't think that would happen, or that would happen, or maybe it would happen like this. But there's a lot of stuff where I'm like, well, this is scarily spot on, and this is actually prescient. In fact, it's not really prescient because it's kind of happening in our world right now. Worth a watch, I reckon, at this stage. I've only watched a couple of episodes of it, but probably hook back into it tonight. Anyway, interesting one from a prepper perspective for you to watch. If you're sick of watching Walking Dead and figuring out either how you'd survive it or how quickly you become a zombie, maybe something a little bit more realistic, tuck that one away. Last Light, go and check it out. Peter Ross says, check out Into the Night. Haven't seen that one, but I might check that one out too. All right, I'm going to wrap it up there. Roast chicken is ready. I'm going to go eat. Keep myself strong. Probably not going to be a sit rep for the next couple of days. I am busy. Kicking around, traveling around and working, but hopefully maybe Saturday I'm planning to go bow hunting, so also busy. We'll see how we go. But anyway, I hope you're all well out there. Savage the Wild, good morning to you, although it is evening here. About to go eat dinner. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, that's it. If you've got any questions, as always, feel free to shoot them through. Keep sending stories and things that you find interesting, because chances are I'll find them interesting too, because you're probably pretty similar to what I am when we're thinking about this sort of stuff. And apart from that, gang, keep prepping, keep safe out there, and as always, Semper Paratus.